with Chris Reardon.
Good evening, gang. It's Thursday night, and we're at the beginning of another month. Thursday, the 1st of July, 2021. A very good evening to you, and welcome to our little chat show. I've got to say, I'm absolutely shattered. Today, and the reason is I went swimming. I had a trial do down in Wokingham, which is not within walking distance. I went down Wokingham for the Nuffield Health Centre, which is the old Virgin place. Those of you that have been with the show for years and years will know I used to go to this Virgin sports centre and have a small swimming pool. And if you've got a really good memory, you'll remember why I left. And the reason being, the pool was always blooming stone cold in there. Okay, so yesterday I rang them up and I said, could I try your pool out again, please? And then they've now changed hands. Some years ago, actually, they changed hands. So I booked my mate in as well. So he came round just about 11 o'clock. We were booked in for 11:30. So we got there. We parked in this multi-storey car park thing, which they've got two of the levels. Do you know what I mean? The sports centre have two of the levels in the multi-storey car park. So we parked in there, and a good start. The lifts were out of order, and it was on the 5th floor. So we walked down there, and funnily enough, from when I went there last time, which has got to be, a long time, about 10 years, got to be about 10 years since I went there. And I used to cycle there, you see, used to cycle all the way there. Parked there, we come down, well, we couldn't find it. It had all changed, all the buildings, there's shops there, little eating places, all sorts. The nightclubs disappeared. It was all round there. Found it in the end, and we went in, and all very nice, filled out a little form and all that business, and in we went, and nothing's different really. Everything looked exactly the same as it was before. They've got a stainless steel pool. Now, it's a private swimming pool, you know, like a health centre type place, rather than a council-run one, and generally you'll find those are a lot smaller than the council-run ones. I mean, the one up in Boston that I was a member of for a couple of years, that was enormous. I mean, enormous. Really huge, and you used to go in and it was all right. But this place is quite clean, quite nice, and you have to book a slot, of course, because of we got the COVID regulations, so they were only allowed 9 people in there at a time, and you get 45 minutes, right? So you book in, and that's it. And we got in there. Lady took us round, left us in the changing room. There you go. There's your showers. Had to bring our own towels. They're not supplying anything at the moment. And went down the stair, up the stair, more stairs, went up the stairs to the pool. We got down there and got in, and on entering the pool, it's still cold. It was really cold getting in. I mean, for me to say that, as someone who's swum for years and years, it was still cold getting in there. Although I must admit, after about 6 lengths or so, you was okay. You know, you was okay. There was me and another bloke in one lane. There were 2 people in the middle lanes. My mate went in the slow lane because he's not as fast as me. I set myself a limit of, a target rather, of 30. I thought, well, if you get to 30 lengths, you would have done well. And the reason is I usually do 60 lengths in a pool that size. But I haven't been since October. Last time I went, I was in the open air pool at Woodall Spa, which is the most delightful place to be. Trouble is, you can't get in there. Again, because of the restrictions, they're limited in numbers. And also, what time do you want to go? Well, if you want to do lane swimming, I think that's like 6 till 9 a.m. in the morning. Well, I can't go near 9 anyway because I've got the radio show to do. But if I'm up there, when I'm up there rather. So you try and get another slot. Sort of, I could do sort of 7:45, I suppose, or 7:30. The only slots that were coming up there were like 6 a.m. I mean, sod that. I mean, I do like swimming, but not that much. I'd have to be getting up at like 5:45, 5:30 to get there for 6. Blimey. Or you can go in the public times, but at the public times, you know, there's lots of children in there and people jumping around and doing that sort of thing rather than swimming up and down. So that's no good to me either. Anyway, so I booked in there and cold to get in. After about 5 or 6 lengths, yeah, it was all right. Nice. And as I say, set myself 30 length target. I got to sit 30. I thought I'd do another 10. I got to 40. I thought I'd do another 10. And I got to 50. I thought, well, you might as well try and do the last 10. And I did it. I surprised myself. I did the 60 lengths, which really surprised me. I didn't think I'd manage that. Not after so long of not being in. Because I haven't been regular swimming now since last... No. Further around than that. Sort of the December before last. I told you I went for a few times in Woodhall Spa to the open air. When I say a few times, I mean about 5. So last year I went swimming 5 times. That's instead of going 4 or 5 times each and every week, which I've done for years. So I haven't really been regular swimming now for over a year. And to manage to achieve that 60 lengths, I'm so surprised. I was so surprised. And I don't understand how that's happened. Presumably you attain a level of fitness. I'm not talking about looks here. You know, the way you run or something like that. I think you must attain a level of fitness. And you know it takes a long time to get to that level. I can only assume it also takes a long time to come back down again. That's all I can think. So that was fine. Literally walked out of there, not breathless, just completely normal, right? Had a shower. The showers were all right in there. Went downstairs. What did you think? She said, well, I said, well, I have to say, it's still cold. It's still cold. And that's why I left 10 years ago. However, I said, I must admit, my mate always feels the cold a lot more than me. A lot more. I mean, he has the bloody central heating on in May and June. Yeah, I mean, you go in there in the winter. Oh, Christ, it's hot in there. All the central heating's full up. That's because I like it. Even now, I'm in here now with the aircon on. You know, I'm quite warm. But and I said, you know, to be fair to you, after 5 or 6 lengths, it was okay. It certainly wasn't warm. They got a new jacuzzi in there. And, funnily enough, when I came out, there was this bloke came in. And straight away, I recognised him as one of the pool boys who was there years ago. Isn't that funny? And he looked at me and I said, did you used to work here? He said, yeah, that's right. He said, I recognised you straight away as well. And, of course, 10 or more years has passed and he's gone from a boy and now he's a man, you know. So it was nice to see him as well. We came out of there. I picked up the terms and conditions. There's different prices. It's £53 a month. That would include the whole sports centre, even though we're only using the gym, the swimming pool, which actually isn't too bad. If you're going 4 times a week, right? 4 times a week, £53 a month is cheaper than going to the council one, pay as you go. You know, £6 each time. So 6, that's 6.12. So say with £24 a week if you're going 4 times a week. 20, 40, 60, 80, 88, 89, 91, 92, 96. That would be £96. That would be £96, which funnily enough is exactly the same price as it would cost to go to the really posh one, which is walking distance from here, called Rackets. Right? Now that one's really nice. They've got an indoor pool bigger than that one I've just been to. And they've got an outdoor pool as well, which they've just built. And all the other... And it is posh. That's £96 a month, you know. But 53, 96, huge difference there, isn't there, you know. As I say, if I was doing pay-as-you-go at the sports centre, it would be £96 a month, £6 each time you go. So, I mean, it's exactly the same, except you're paying monthly. Yes, two rates of pay up that one. It's £53 a month if you sign up for a year, or you can do, like, rolling contract. So you can go for 2 months and then quit, £61 a month. And I think I'll probably do that just to test it out, because you don't want to be tied into something. You know, I might get to 2 or 3 months and thought, yeah, okay, let's sign up. And then I can drop it to 53. Do you know what I mean? You want to give it a good try. One go in there isn't good enough. And it's not walking distance. I've got to get on a bike to go there or get the car out. You know, I would go on the bike. That's how I used to go, on the bike. But I do have a little bit of a problem with my knees if I cycle. Well, every time I go cycling. When I get back off the cycle, I have problems with my knees. Very sharp pains. which do go over a period of time. It might be if I go swimming even more and do that cycle, it gets worse. So that was fine. Came back here, I'd done some dinner, watched a bit of telly, and I went to bed. Well, I went to bed about 4:15, and I got up again at about 6:15, woken up by the alarm, which is quite unusual. I usually wake up before the alarm, and I am absolutely shattered. I'm not aching anywhere or anything like that. I'm just, oh God. And I got a bit of a headache. And the only thing I can think of is that perhaps I did overdo it. But it's not like I was in the pool forcing myself. You know, it came quite naturally, really. And even you know, if that had done me in, I would have got out of the pool. Well, I wasn't like that at all. It's just now it's kind of hit me a bit. So I hope I recover for tomorrow. And that's why I'm feeling a bit tired today. So there we are. All right, we might have to cut short, which is unlikely, as you will. How many times have I said that? We might have to cut short a little bit today, and then we've carried on. If you're new to the show, a warm welcome along to our little program of fun. My name's Chris. If you want to contact the show and you're in the chat box, you're trying to send me a message through the chat box with everyone else in there, I'm not in there at all. That's just for you to chat to each other. I never go in there, okay? If you'd like to send a message to the show, please use the text number in the top left-hand corner, 07451 287 337, 07451 287 337, or you can send an email. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. There's also a phone-in number. Phone line isn't open yet, so if you call, you'll just get an answer phone at the moment, but we'll probably open the phone line a little bit later on as well. All right. Also, brand new gang, you may have noticed. Is it down there? That side? Is it there? There's a little subscribe button there. Is that on there? I don't know if it's on there. It's certainly there with the recorded shows. I'm not quite sure if it's there with the live shows or not now. But there is now a little subscribe button. Created by myself, designed and created. So I don't know if that's there or not. Have you noticed that? So if you're new and again you want to subscribe, just hit that little button there and it's easy now. Took me years to work that out. Of course, I was speaking to my nephew earlier, and he said, "Oh, I've had one of those for years." He always says that, "I've had one of those for years." See, people tell me things, but I'm not very good at understanding things these days. You have to sort of tell me in a certain way. It just doesn't sink into the head. I don't know why. Okay, so you might see the subscribe button there. Let's read some of your messages coming in on the show today. Hello to, where we going? Oh, first one there. Mark Bowles is there. Let's show you his little picture. Bless his little heart. There he is. Look at that beautiful little face. No chubby cheeks there. Just fit. Good evening, Mark. He's just got home. He's had a busy today. Left home at 7:30 in the morning. Hope you've had a good day. Yeah, really good. Really good. I like to make myself busy. Busy, but good. I did a very small litter pick this morning of about 20 minutes in between the show and when I had to leave to go to try at that swimming pool earlier. Evening to Jason Hughes. Good evening, Sherry. Hello to Sherry. Good evening, beautiful Sherry. Sherry says, "Good evening, Chris and your viewers. Today isn't my day. Had to buy new front tyres. And I'm not sure if I'll receive a speeding ticket fine later." Why is that, darling? Did you have a lamp? Did you have a camera flash at you? Did you? Was it a big camera or a small one? Was it like a big square one? Or was it a small one? I'm just assuming that you might have got flashed by a camera by what you say there. She says, "Apart from that, everything is well, especially now that we're watching your show." Thank you very much, Sherry. Evening to Leslie Ross. The beautiful Leslie Ross is there. She's there. All well with myself. Still putting up with my Gary. I don't know how you do it, Leslie. Don't know how you do it, my love. You know, Jesus had his cross to bear. You've got yours. You've got Perhaps you'd rather be nailed to a cross. I don't know. Shania, I can put you in touch with Shania. She's got direct contact with cross manufacturers. You know, it depends what you want. Do you want the ragged edge one? You know, or do you want something nice and smooth or something? You decide, my darling. Evening to Diane Jebb. John Parrish is there. Evening to John Parrish, who says, "All that swimming and walking, yet again you're still a lard ass." What lovely comments he makes, doesn't he, my darling? What nice things to do. He said, please be kind to me tonight or no tip. I'd rather be horrible, John, to be honest, than have a tip from you. I can't lie. I'd rather be really horrible as much as you. He said there's some sicko cat stabbing cats. Is there really? Why do people do those sort of things? We've seen that with horses before, haven't we? People going around mutilating horses. Such beautiful creatures, aren't they? My great niece Evie loves horses. She goes horse riding. She has lessons every week. She loves it. Loves it. You see her bouncing up. I think I didn't know you were supposed to bounce on a horse. It does look like she's bouncing herself, if you know what I mean, rather than the horse is making you bounce. I don't know anything about horses really. My sister loves horses. One of her dreams is to have her own horse. You know. Good evening to Chris Cross. DJ Chris is here. Good evening, darling. He says, evening, Chris. Hope you've had a lovely day today. I'm listening to your show tonight. Look at those other messages he's sending. Very rude, Chris. Oh, I can't read those out to you. You want to hear me and DJ Chris talk on the phone. Incidentally, we've got some pictures from DJ Chris for the show today, which will be coming up a little bit later. I think we're going to have to ask for likes for those, okay? Okay, let's have a look. I've got some pictures of DJ Chris's brand new tattoos, and we will require to see those 23 likes. I haven't asked for likes for a while, have I? 23 likes we will require if you want to see Chris's brand new tattoos, and very nice they are too, I have to say. I'm not someone who's got any tattoos. I'm frightened of the needle, to be honest. I faint every time I get the flu injection, eh? Evening to Chris. Evening, Chris. Good evening to Maureen. Hello, Maureen. Good evening to Rachel Wheatland. Hello to... There's Shania still there. Shania, can you put me in touch with a cross manufacturer? How much do you want to spend, Leslie, you know? I mean, do you want something that's come out of China? Or do you want something that's come out of Israel? Perhaps a piece of the actual cross? I think that's rather expensive. Shania knows all the people that can help you, my love. All right. And good evening to Simon Humpty. Good evening to Vectis Simon Humpty, who says, hi, Chris. Are you broadcasting from your mid-terraced estate house or your rusty caravan up north? Asking for a friend. Mid-terraced house? Darling, I don't know what you're talking about now. This is not a small community station on a tiny, insignificant island in the Solent. This is a purpose-built television studio in the heart of Royal Berkshire, just down the road from Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And there's a picture of her there. One moment. There we are. There she is. Oh. That's just a revolving camera. There you are. Look at. There she is. Keeping an eye on you dodgy people out there, my love. She's very busy at the moment. I think she's doing the beans on toast this evening. Isn't she, from Harry? Harry's popped over for some beans on toast. She's at a gas cooker at the moment, stirring the beans. I wonder how Harry likes his beans on toast. I bet old Meghan Markle don't do him beans on toast. I bet they all have posh crap, don't they? You know, those dinners with a tiny little bit in the middle of the plate. I bet he must miss his days in Vegas, Harry, when he was naked, off his head. Harry! We want the old Harry when you were happy and bouncy, love. Oh, dear. Mid-terraced estate house, how rude. A good evening to the delightful Paul Brown. Hello, darling. How's your new glasses? I enjoy he's got some new glasses. He says, worked an earlier shift today, so he's free to watch your show this evening. Good evening, Paul. Sorry I can't play your request, my darling. A little bit of Kylie Minogue, Britney Spears. Oh, Britney Spears. What's going on there, do you think? She can't get her, run her life, can she? They won't let her run her own life. I think... I don't mean this in a nice, nasty way. I think she's got a little bit of a head problem. I got a feeling that's it. Now, when I look at her, I can't see that head problem. But why, oh why, would a judge allow someone's father at her age to be controlling everything? I think there's more to this story than we know about. I really do. I think he's... You see, it's difficult for me to understand a father that would take something away from his children. I don't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm sure there's some out there, you know. I mean, I had a very good upbringing, as you know, from my parents. They never took a thing from me. I can't see a girl's father, and there's also a thing there, isn't there? Like daughters and fathers, like sons and mothers. Yeah, I think the connection is very special between a daughter and his father, and I just all my stuff's fallen off. Oh God, what's happening there? Hang on a minute, just a minute. I think the air conditioner just knocks stuff off here. There we are. What's going on there? Stuff's just fallen off. I think there's something going on with her. What do you reckon, Paul? Are you a Britney fan? I can't remember now. Can't remember if you're a Britney fan. I know you're a Steps fan. You can do all the little dances, can't you, my love? Oh, it's all very sad, Paul, these days. You know, when you put a Step song on all these middle-aged people come up onto the stage and start doing the dancing, it don't look good, girl. It doesn't look good. Good evening to Fran Green. Evening, Fran. Shania says, I'm afraid they are only available during Lent. Oh, you won't get one of the crosses then, Leslie. Sorry, darling. No crosses for Leslie, my love. Nothing there. Paul says, I'm one of those middle-aged people. I'm sure you are, my love. Yeah, but you don't look it, Paul. You don't look it. You could probably still get away with a little sparkly top. Aye. Sherry says she got done by a mobile camera. I didn't see it right away. I'm not sure if I was driving 30 or 32 mile an hour. I reckon you'll be all right, Sherry. I reckon you'll be all right, darling. Don't worry too much about it. I mean, they're very quick at sending out these fines, my darling. You know. That's the trouble with generally with cameras. If you see it, it's too late. Okay? They position these damn cameras. Once you've seen them, you see these people break as soon as they see the camera. Wasting your time, darling. It's already got you. Already got you. But 32 mile an hour, I think you'll probably be all right, Sherry. Don't worry too much, my darling. Don't worry. And even if you do get a fine, make him pay it for you, my love. He's got loads of money, hasn't he? Loads of money. Oh, yeah. Oh, a pound less since last show, I think, weren't it? Eh? Thank you. Vectis says, I keep trying to get cash off Callum for his rent, but he won't give me any. He's tighter than someone else right now. Oh, Vectis, that's, I'm afraid that's a boy thing. I think I was the same. You know, I'm talking to Cash. Let's just put that from her, just in case anyone wants to tip tonight. Yeah, I'm not proud of that. I think it's a boy thing. I know my sister had the most terrible trouble getting money out of someone. I won't name them. Out of someone. She had the most terrible trouble getting rent out of someone. But I think she gets it now. I think it's a boy father, boy mother thing. I really do. Does Callum talk to you much? As a matter of interest, Vectis, does Callum talk to you much? Or do you find like when you try and talk to him, he kind of doesn't really reply or just grunts a bit? Again, I think that's a father-son thing. So, with some fathers and sons, they seem to be really close. I had the most wonderful father, and he would try and talk to me, and I'd just cut him dead. No. I don't know why, and I don't know why. Of course, when they have gone, you question yourself every single day. Why was I like that? Why did I only wanted to talk? I don't know if it's the same for you, but yeah, I think you're just going to have to go into his room and take the money, basically. Make him sign one of those direct debit forms. That'd frighten the life out of him, wouldn't it? Poor thing. Chris says, really like the new... Oh! DJ Chris, really like the new backdrop, Chris. Well, we've had this for a while, Chris, but... Oh, the camera's moved. Look! An unprofessional thing happening there. Just a moment. We're not having that. Oh, it's terrible. Hang on, we might have to do a little bit... there you go. Sorry about that. Oh, dear. You could see the old backdrop there. Very unprofessional moment there. I'm surprised no idiot pointed... Ow, we can see your old backdrop. They love to do that, Chris. They love to point out inconsistencies. You know. It's not as popular as the other ones. I do already have another backdrop. That arrived a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if I mentioned it. I don't want to tell you what it is. it's stunning. It's really, really nice. I think the most popular one we ever had was the mushrooms. Do you remember the mushrooms? Right? If I said to you, I think it's probably better than that. Okay? But I'm going to keep you waiting for a while for that. Okay? It's not going to appear in the next couple of weeks. But it's here, and I'm so pleased with it. And it weren't even dear. Weren't even expensive. I'm in two minds, actually, for this one or the one down at the rusty old... the Lincolnshire Television Studio and Radio Super Complex. Not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. Good evening to Andy. Evening, Andy, who says, I do all the steps movies in my armchair. I call it armchair dancing. Armchair dancing. Oh, a super chat's coming, boys and girls. Oh, hang on. That's gone wrong. Sorry, super chat's coming. Thank you very much. DJ Chris has sent me a £5 super chat tonight. I'm in the money. Money. Must be funny. In a rich man's world. Da, 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 da. Thank you, DJ Chris. £5 super chat. Thank you very much. You're very kind, darling. Very, very kind indeed. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying now, DJ Chris. Oh, evening. Yes, Andy does all the steps moves in his armchair. Can you do tragedy? Paul's very good at tragedy, aren't you, Paul? Gorgeous. But where are you again, Paul? I think you moved back to London. I can't remember exactly where you are. Tragedy. You're going away. I used to play that on a Saturday night at the Black Cap. They were all on the stage doing the actions, and I was as well. And I DJ Paul, I tell you, he was there. I used to have no top on. It was gorgeous. Have you ever been gorgeous, John Parrish? I've seen some of your old photos, and some people just don't have it, my love. You know, but it's okay. You got money. You got money, so that's all right. You know, can't have looks and money. Sadly, I haven't got either of those things. But I did have both. Never mind, eh? Vectis, me and Callum get on really well. Yes, me and the kids are a bit of a strange situation when they're both living with me. Do you want me to read this out, or is this private? Okay, yeah. Callum today, that's his son, got a letter from the Inland Revenue. I'm just waiting for my final bill, actually. I had the bill. Funnily enough, I've just got the bill from the tax man. And my accountant, I rang my accountant up, who's dealing with my accounts at the moment. I think they're all done. I've just, when the accountant sends you that form, it says just sign on my mark and send it back. So I've done that now. And I rang him up yesterday. I said, do I need to pay this bill now? He said, no, don't pay that yet. He said, because I'm going to make adjustments because you made such a huge loss on the DJ business last year. Well, it's non-existent. And nothing. Almost nothing at all. I made a loss of £10,000 last year on that. Yeah. And the trouble with the way the tax works, which I explained before, I have DJing or entertainment and property, right? If one makes a loss, you can't use the profit from this to pay that. Yeah? So that's basically just a loss. Okay, you won't pay tax on it, but you still got to pay the normal tax on that bit. And if that's not that much anyway, do you see what I mean? That's just how it works. Anyway, so I rang him yesterday. He said, no, don't pay it yet. He said, I think that's going to come. I think I can get that down a little bit more. So don't be in a rush to pay it, which is fine. So fingers crossed there. Anyway, Vector says Callum got a tax rebate for a fair bit of money. You wouldn't make it up. You would take a fall in a pile of poo and come out smelling of roses. Well, you got trouble with your plumbing as well. I can put you in contact with an excellent plumber who fixed my toilet, which no longer leaks. And I've used it several times now. No more dripping at the bottom. Absolute bargain, £120. Evening to Gary Ross. Good evening, Gary. Nice to see you making a little appearance this evening, as you always do. He's there in the morning. He's there at night. Everyone's there. Everyone's happy. Okay, just a moment. Let me just do this. Thank you very much. London Weekend Television. One moment, please. By the way, is that subscribe button there in the corner there? Oh, that's not working now, is it? That's not working. Okay. Is that little subscribe button in the... I think it's down that corner. Is there a little subscribe button there somewhere? Paul says, always topless, Chris. I did love those nights. I was topless when I was DJing. It feels like yesterday and 100 years ago at the same time. Oh, it certainly does, doesn't it? I mean, all that stuff feels like yesterday because, you know, I used to go to trade, you know, on Saturday night. Off me head every Saturday night. It just seems like it was yesterday. And trade, for me, is like 1999, 09, 19, 20, 21. It's 22 years ago. 22 years ago since I came up those metal stairs. Oh, well, never mind. Chris Cross says, oh, my God, Chris, if you have a drippy bottom, go to the gum clinic. God's sake, Chris. Some of those messages, you should see some of those messages he sends me. Did you see the picture of the spider that I had up here? Now, where's that? Hang on a minute. Spider, burning brightly. Oh, I haven't put it on here now. Oh, Christ. There was a big picture. Oh, yeah, I know. I can show you the clock. Let's show you the clock. Where's the clock? There's the clock. Yeah, there's the spider. Can you see that there? I'll make it a bit bigger. There it is. Evil! Evil spider! Bitten and nearly dead. Who's been bitten by a spider? Anyone? I bet Michael Pullman has, our lovely friend in Australia. Where did that happen? It is a false black widow spider. And the Metro is reporting that this student got bitten and nearly died. Now, I must admit, since we've had these stories, and it's been around for a few years now, these stories about false black widow spiders, I have found, or I do found quite a few of those now, usually very small, in corners and not in the house. I've not found one of those in the house yet, to be honest. But I find them outside, and I find them in the shed, and I found them in webs outside the caravan as well. I have found them. I tend to squash them straight away when I see one of those. Okay. I have been told by people, generally, they're the same as other spiders. They will not attack you unless they feel threatened. Okay. I mean, I have to say, the spiders at the caravan are very different to the ones I find here. The ones at the caravan have got big, black, bulbous bodies. And they scare me. Not those ones. Not the false black widow ones. They're just like shiny black bodies. Probably harmless, I would imagine. And they can get very big. Very big. All right? The ones here tend to be household spiders. Or I've seen the little... we have these ones here with the tiniest little body. Like a pinprick. You know, just a tiny, like a... I don't know, like a pea. Not as big as a pea. Not as big as a pea, like really small, but great big long legs like that. Long, thin, spindly legs. And literally, if I find those in a house, I literally take one of their legs, pick it up and place it outside. You know? I mean, it's not... That body is so small, there can't possibly be a set of teeth in that head. Waiting to bite you. But this woman got bitten. In the Metro, reporting a young student has escaped death after being bitten by a venomous spider doing a staycation in the UK. Have you ever been bitten by a spider, anyone? I bet John Parrish has, because he's been very lucky, a wonderful career he's had all over the world. All over the world. You must have been bitten by a spider, or perhaps stung by a scorpion, or a snake, bitten by a snake maybe, John? This lady, she's 18. She was staying at her parents' caravan in Cardigan Bay Holiday Park. Now, where's Cardigan? Is that Welsh Wales, Cardigan Bay? She was celebrating finishing college when she woke up to a stabbing pain in her side. As she opened her eyes, she saw a huge spider sitting next to her, which she believes to have been a false black widow spider. She immediately ran from her room screaming. Well, I mean, I wouldn't have run. First thing I would have done was pick up the pillow and squash the bastard. Wouldn't you? You run out of the room, you come back in, it's probably moved. How are you going to find it then? No, action must be taken immediately, dear. Immediately. You know, that's what a good soldier would do. You know, don't wait for them to fire, dear. Get on with it. As she opened her eyes, she saw a huge spider sitting next to her, and she ran from her room. This lady from Caerphilly in Welsh Wales said, I woke up with a sharp pain that woke me from my sleep, looked next to me, and I just saw this giant spider running away from the bed. I bet it weren't even that big. I mean, how big do false black widows get? It was really sore, and it just got worse. It got bigger, and it was very red, itchy, and so sore I couldn't move my arm or sleep on her side. I was feeling really dizzy and weak. I was boiling. I felt my heart was racing, and the lump had grown even more to the size of a golf ball. I collapsed as the doctors were rushing. Oh, hang on. Oh, I can't do it, can I? I was just about to put the Holby City music on then, which was on Monday this week, incidentally, those of you that might have missed it. They did have an episode. They moved it to Monday. I can't play you music on this channel. I collapsed as the doctors were rushing me into surgery, but thankfully they managed to do it. Otherwise, I would have got sepsis, which you can die for. Yes, I don't think it's the bite that's the problem. If you don't clean it quickly, or antiseptic, then it can turn sepsis. I mean, you can get that from a rusty nail, can't you? This is whenever you cut yourself, you should immediately clean it. And if you haven't got antiseptic, then just use some bleeding water, for Christ's sake. Bit of soap and water. Not everyone's got a tube of Germaline hanging around, have they? Or something like that. At least at the bare minimum, most people are near some water somewhere, aren't they? Even if it's like a bottle of water in the car. Clean the damn thing out quickly. The British Arachnological Society. Now, come on, that was impressive. I've said that word then, wasn't it? You impressed with that? What was it? Arachnological Society. Nothing to do with stars. The British Arachnological Society recently reported a huge increase in general spider populations, including the venomous false widows. This girl who was bitten said, I was already scared of spiders, but now I'm too scared to even go back to the caravan, and the sight of any tiny spider makes me feel sick and terrified. Now, I have to tell you, right, when I go to the caravan, okay, and when I come home here from the caravan, the first thing I do is put all the main lights on and search for spiders. Always. Always. That's the first thing I do. I go into the bedroom and I pull the bed away from the wall at the caravan, which is it's the cheap bed. It's a crap bed, £250 from Argos. I mean, it is crap. It's not that comfortable. I'll give you that. I've put a John Lewis mattress topper on the top, but it's still not that comfortable, to be honest. And I tip that up on its side, and I have a look under there. I look behind the air conditioning heating unit. There's not a lot in the caravan, if you see what I mean. Not like the house, all right? But that tends to suffer from spiders, okay? So I look in there, and I look in the living room. I told you what happened last time I got there, a couple of weeks ago now. I was in the kitchen making some tea. I just got there. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then the spider ran out. And it was one of those ones with the black bulbous bodies. Not massive, I'll give you that. Not massive. Probably about that big, right? But it had that fat body. Yeah, I mean, what's in that fat body? Probably dead people. That spider has been munching away all the other people in the other caravans. That's what's happened there, my love. That's why it's got that fat black body and little legs. And it come running out from underneath the freezer. And I was standing there and it just stopped. And I could just feel what it was feeling at that moment. And what it was feeling is, oh, I think I'm in the wrong place here. At which point my foot landed on top of it. It knew it had mucked up. No, I don't like killing spiders, no, but they terrify me. Anyway, I've never been bitten by a spider or a snake or a scorpion. I've been stung by a couple of wasps, and a bee once. And because I stepped on the bee. I stepped on it. Accidentally, of course. I think I was in barefoot in the garden or something like that. Long time ago. I think that's probably about the only thing. I've been bitten a couple of times by dogs. Bleeding dogs. When I was jogging once, this blooming dog attacked my leg. Anyway, this girl says it's hard to describe the pain of the mark, but even though it was this tiny spot, the pain of it felt like a stab wound. It was so sore. Anytime I lifted my arm, as if there was something huge there. I didn't sleep in the same room that night after not being able to find the spider. See, that's because you run out, love. If you see it, you've got to do something there and then. Because that spider knows you've seen it and it will hide and go for another bite later on. Awful. The student later found the spider she believed attacked her, trapped it in a Tupperware container before taking a photo of the 8-legged creature. She self-medicated with antihistamines for some days, but the lump kept growing until it reached the size of a golf ball, which is when she went to the GP, gave her antibiotics. The lump began leaking pus 2 days later, prompting a trip to A&E. Dear me, the antibiotics didn't make her feel better. Wow. Awful. She said, by the time I went to A&E, this is after 3 days, I was feeling really awful, hot, weak, and my blood pressure and heart rate were really high. The doctor said I needed surgery, and I just looked at my mum in shock. I don't like blood or needles, or none of us do they, my love? And I was really scared, but they said it could turn into sepsis if we waited too long. She went on a drip. She had trouble breathing. She had an oxygen mask. I heard the doctor saying, oh, my God, she's in a really bad way, as they rushed me into theatre. Gosh. But they removed the lump, and she was left with a hole in her arm. Just a minute. Let's just do this. Hole in arm. One moment, please. Oh, what's going on here? So, having minor difficulties with the mobile phone today, didn't we? Yeah, look at this hole in her arm. Wow, that's after they removed the lump. Nasty looking, isn't it? Gosh. Oh, it's a missed call here from DJ Chris. Did you try and call me a little while, Chris? Sorry, darling, you won't be able to get hold out of me while I'm doing my bits and pieces, my love. All right. Oh, that is frightening, isn't it? So let's see if any of you messaged in at all, been bitten by snakes or things like that. Fran says there's no subscribe button on there. Okay, fair enough. Thank you, darling. Maybe it just comes up on the recordings. I don't know. John Paris, there we go. I knew it. He says, I once got bitten by a tarantula when I was in Africa. It was as big as your fist. It died immediately. I was watching a programme, actually, on the telly some time ago now. So that's the spider story. That's on the front cover there, my loves. All right. I was watching a programme some time ago now it was, and it was these little boys. I can't remember what country they were in, but they eat tarantulas and they go and they collect them. I kid you not, they're holes in the ground. You wouldn't know because we don't know what to look for. They would locate these holes. Right, there'd be a tarantula in there. These little boys, 7, 8 years old, 9 maybe, right? And they find these holes and they literally put their hands in the hole and pull out a tarantula. And then they collect them. And they got a bag full of these things. A bag full of tarantulas, which they then take, they build a little fire and they cook them and they eat them. And they literally have there's no glove, nothing like that. They put their hands in their holes like that and they pull out a tarantula and shove them in the bag. Frightening. Why don't they get bitten? Like that poor girl from Welsh Wales. From the valley, from the Welsh Wales. Thank you. You've called before the start of the show. I've just noticed that now, Chris. You won't get me before the start of the show. How are we doing on likes? Have we got 23? Was it 23 likes? We've got 8 likes. Oh, Chris, they don't want to see you. They don't want to see your tarantula, your tattoos. If you want to see DJ Chris's tattoos, and they do look very good, we will require 23 likes. So that little like button underneath the video thing, hit the thumbs up there on the little like button. And once we get 23 likes, I'll show you they are worth looking at. They're good tattoos. I'll show you DJ Chris's tattoos. Okay, we've only got 9 at the moment. Can't believe you don't want to see those. All right. Let's have a look. Don't forget you can email in as well if you're in America. Certainly, if you're in America, the text doesn't work for you for some reason. Please email in chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Another thing I was going to talk about today is weddings. Weddings. Have you ever helped out at a wedding? What did you do? What did you do to help out at a wedding? Anything at all? Maybe you made the sandwiches. Made the bride's dress, did the bride's hair, took the bloke out for a night with his mates. How did that go? Anyone get tied up naked against a post? Eh? Something like that. And I ask this because there's a story in the Daily Mirror today, which says a wedding. It's supposed to be a happy time for all involved, but sometimes things don't go according to plan, especially when it comes to budgeting for the event. This was certainly one experience someone had when she invited to a wedding a gorgeous and expensive venue, only to find the cost of hosting the beautiful ceremony meant cutbacks in other areas. Now, if you've done anything to assist someone at a wedding, that phone line's open now. Okay, you can give us a call and tell me about it. Have you ever helped at a wedding, and what did you do? Often people are a little bit nervous of calling. I don't know why that is. But honestly, if you've never called before and you're a little bit nervous, I will make you feel at ease. And if you're frightened, you won't know what to say, I will drag it out of you. Don't worry. The other people on here will tell you that, okay? If you're in the chat box, don't forget, gang, I'm not in the chat box. I can't see any chat messages. If you want to contact the show, give us a call, 0208 144 3477, or you can text in your message to me on the text number there, 07451 287 337. But I'm not in the chat box, all right? Wedding experiences. If you've helped people at weddings, what did you do? I used to do wedding discos years ago. I would be the bloke turning up with his lights and turntables and records a long, long time ago now. And I enjoyed it. It was hard work. It was difficult keeping control sometimes of drunk people and children running around knocking your lights over and things like that. But I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. George has called in. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Chris.
All right.
Yes.
Have you been helping people at weddings?
Yes, I have actually.
Go on. What did you do? Whose wedding was it first?
My dad and my
Dad and stepmum?
Yeah.
Okay. How long ago was that, George?
When I was about 12.
Oh, blimey, that's a long time ago then, weren't it?
Yes.
How old are you now then? 27?
21.
21?
Yes.
Okay. So you had the wedding. What was that, a church or a registry office?
A registry office.
That was all right, was it? Was it a nice day?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very nice day.
So what part did you assist at?
I helped. Well, how can I put it? She had a big cake, and then she had little cakes with it, and I gave the little cakes out.
Oh, I know, cupcakes.
Yes.
I know. Yeah, I've seen that. This is a sort of relatively new thing where you do have. Some people don't even have a big cake. It's like a rack with lots of little cakes on, and in a way, I suppose it's easier to give those out. I mean, if I was to get married again, I don't think I would prefer like the big traditional cake, not a fruit cake though. I don't like fruit cake.
No, I don't like.
No.
Although I've had fruit cake, but I'm not so keen on it.
No. You like a nice sponge cake, do you?
Yeah.
And that's what you did. Is there anything else you did there? Just hand out little cakes?
All I can think of, yes.
Did you help with the cleaning up afterwards, or was that down to the people?
That was down to the people.
Okay. Because again, go on.
Then I went to a different wedding, and it was my mum's wedding and my stepdad's wedding.
Right.
and I gave my mum away.
Oh, George.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, George. That's really touched me, that has. I can picture it in my head. How old was you then?
Well, it was their anniversary a couple of weeks ago, so I must have been 13.
You were 13. So was that in a registry office as well?
Yes.
So you walked in. Just describe what happened that day.
Basically, I walked in with my mum. Then I gave her to my stepdad.
How lovely. So you had your mum on your on your arm, did you, as you walked in?
Yes.
Oh, how lovely. That's wonderful, George. Absolutely wonderful. Hmm. Oh, that's quite touched me, that has. I'm so pleased to hear that little story, George. Wonderful. Well, thanks for calling in with that. That's really nice,
Okay.
George. You've made us all
Okay.
very happy tonight with that story.
Okay.
Cheerio, George.
Cheerio, Chris.
Bye now. Isn't that great? He gave his mum away at the wedding. That's touched me. That's really touched me. Really. Anyone else got experience of helping people at weddings? Let us know, gang. I'll just read the rest of this story here. This lady, she was at a posh place. Gorgeous and expensive venue, only to find the cost of the beautiful ceremony meant cutbacks in other areas. The woman was shocked to discover she and 9 other guests had been tasked with washing up all the dirty dishes after the bride and groom chose to self-cater their wedding, but failed to hire anyone to clean up the mess. She wrote the bride and groom blew most of their wedding money on the venue, and the bride's admittedly beautiful couture gown, so they decided to self-cater. Whatever. Dinner is over. We're starting the reception thing when the maid of honour starts coming around and asking if some of us to come with her into the kitchen. We go in there. There's no air conditioning, so the kitchen is about a zillion degrees. She shows us stacks of plates and cups and then tells us we need to wash them up. Apparently, part of the self-catering is that you rent the dishes and glassware, and if they aren't returned clean at the end of the evening, you lose your deposit. But since the bride and groom are pinching pennies at this point, they haven't hired anyone to clean up. So I and about 9 other guests spend most of the reception in the kitchen, elbow deep in soap and water. And she goes on to say, and to make matters worse, the couple also failed to provide enough food for all their Oh, that's terrible. They also failed to provide enough food for all the wedding guests, meaning a quarter of them, including the poster's partner, that's the person, right, not the bride, but the person who wrote the article, went hungry. The woman added, food looks great. I serve up my plate and go and sit down. My boyfriend at the time, now my husband, had gone to the restroom. There were only a few restrooms, toilets, available for guests to use. So it took a while for them to get through the line. He then comes back to the table with an empty plate. When I asked why, he said there's no more food left. Oh, God. Oh, my. Isn't that awful? You see, when I was doing these weddings and that, wonderful. I mean, I did so many weddings. Every Saturday there was some sort of event that I would go and DJ up, and I'd load my old Transit up. I had an old Transit van which never let me down. Used to have a choke on it, would get stuck. The automatic choke would get stuck, which is a fairly easy thing. I just used to, and you knew it was stuck because you'd be putting your foot down and it just wouldn't go. I used to pop up the bonnet, which was all rusted, pull off this air filter, and then the choke was like it would be stuck, and you simply push it down like that, and it would go down, and immediately you put the thing back on, and it would just fly along. Wonderful, that old car, that old van. Used to love that. I never bothered fixing the auto choke because it was such an easy thing to get going again, and it was like expensive thing to fix because I couldn't fix things at the time. Or now come to that. So that was good. But the weddings I've been to, often everyone's a lot of not all the guests, but it's sometimes done by the family. And I did all sorts of weddings, from posh 5-star hotels to scout huts. And at the scout hut end, you'd find that all the family would sort of muck in. Someone would be doing a little bit of cooking here, you know, cutting up bits of French stick, putting out plates of ham and cheese with pineapples and stuff like that. Some people had done a bit of cooking, you know, sausage rolls, that sort of thing. And all this stuff would come out on the table. And at the end of the night, and it was always very, very sad, and cakes. Oh, it was just so much food on these tables. I never, ever went to a wedding where they ran out of food. In fact, more often than not, sadly, you know, end of the night, people would be going home and these big black bags would come out and the food that was chucked away, it was criminal. But of course, it was no good to anyone. And they'd come up to me and say, oh, would you like to take it? Anything you want to take home, just put it in a bag, take it home, mate. I can have a bit of that cake. Take the whole thing. And I'd be coming out there with whole cakes and sandwiches to eat in the car. Well, I'd already eaten crisps and things. Food that was chucked away was unbelievable. But, you know, at the end of the night, all the family, it's a different sort of thing, I suppose, to the people in the story. The family had done it all, and they'd all club together at the end of the night and tidy up and clean everything down and what have you. But it wasn't a 5-star. They weren't 5-star hotels. Looks to me like she's kind of almost hired a 5-star hotel, but no staff. Sherry Parish says, I co-hosted a wedding of my classmate when I was in my mid-20s. It was great. So she enjoyed that. Vectis says in the Isle of Wight, says, I wedding DJ. Have you any horror stories that spring to mind? Most DJs know. I've got quite a few. I can never keep everyone happy all the time. Yeah, I mean, you'd always get people moaning at weddings. Well, any not so much in nightclubs, excuse me. Right, my little sweet got stuck under my teeth then. Not so much in nightclubs, especially if they can't get to you, you know. And not all DJs take requests in nightclubs. I used to take requests in nightclubs, but not all DJs do. But weddings, I said on the programme the other day, Vectis, you could be playing all modern stuff, right? You know, certainly as they come in, tend to do the chart stuff. You could be playing that for 45 minutes, and you put one old song on, and some kid will come up to you. Ain't you got anything modern? It'd be a girl. Never be a bloke. Never a boy. Never a boy. Ain't you got anything modern? They come out. Ain't you got anything modern? Didn't you hear the last 45 minutes? You know, so you put something new on, and some old bloke will come up then. Have you got anything for the oldies? You were not playing anything for the old people. You just played a few old songs. It was a bit like that. It's all the time at weddings. Pain in the arse. Pain in the arse. But at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, quite enjoyable, actually. Even the setting up of the stuff. I used to enjoy going in there and setting up all this equipment, plugging wires in and lights and things like that. It's very, very different these days. You know, you need all sorts of bleeding safety certificates. Everything's got to be PAT tested. You need an insurance certificate before the hotel will let you in the door. Never used to be like that. It's awful now. Awful. All this red tape. You literally, people would ring me up. Can you do the disco? Yes. I'll go and meet them. Perhaps discuss what they want done. Okay, thank you very much. I never even used to take a deposit. Do you need to pay your deposit? No, that's fine. I'll turn up on the day. Although some people liked to give you a deposit, you know, because it kind of seals the deal in case you decided not to turn up, which I never did. Never did that. Never didn't just turn up. Oh, I've heard some horror stories about that. Horror stories. People have booked a wedding, didn't turn up. No phone call, nothing. Just simply didn't turn up. How can you ruin someone's event like that? I was there at the crack of dawn, mate. I'm ready like an hour before I'm due to start, in case there's anything wrong. And there was a couple of occasions when things went wrong. We were on record players in one particular place. I think it was a birthday party, Battersea Town Hall, if I remember rightly. And one of my needles broke on the turntable. I didn't have another one. I had to ring up my dad, who drove, and I said, "There's a needle in my bedroom. Could you take it out?" But he didn't know what he was doing. But he brought it round and he did it. So that was that. And I think, was there something else? Technically, I had a speaker blow before. That's not too much of an issue because you've got two speakers. I'm sure there was something else. Technically, did it ever stop you? No, it didn't. I was never stopped halfway through a night. Technically, that never happened. Never, not ever. There's something right at the back of my mind now that I can't remember. Oh yeah. So I turned up at one place, which was down the A3. Okay, I lived in a flat in Wandsworth, small flat, bit of a housing estate, little bit rough. Okay, and I used to load my car out, and I propped the door open with a box of records. Okay, load my car up on my van, all stuff coming down the stairs and into the van. And I arrived at this place, set everything up. Where's my records? I thought, oh my God, you've left them propping open the door in the flat. And I think I was due to start at 7 o'clock. It was like 6:30. The journey is about 20 minutes each way. Oh, damn, no, you're joking. Anyway, I jumped in the van and I rushed home. And they would have been sitting there because I've set up all the equipment as well. They would have been sitting there, propping that door open for about 2 hours, and they were still there. They were still there. Those records were still there because I wouldn't have been able to do the job. You know, it's not like these days where you've got a backup hard drive. Records, once they're gone, that's it, mate. They're gone. You know. In those days, there was no backup. You couldn't go on Spotify and set up a temporary playlist or something like that and get that going. You lose your records, end off. And again, I've got some horror stories of DJs that used to leave records in their car and got them broken into and lost all their records. Terrible. That's the one thing you never... Well, I never used to leave anything in the car. But you should, you know, even if you leave an amplifier and a mixer and something like that, if you leave that in the car, you can go and buy that tomorrow if it gets nicks. You couldn't do that with records. Once they're gone, to actually get those records back together again would be a nightmare. Dan Woodhouse is on the line. Good evening, Dan.
Evening, Chris.
Did you used to help at weddings then?
Weddings? Oh, yes, I did, actually.
What did you do?
I turned up.
Right, and you think that would be appreciated by people?
Well, yeah, because without that,
Really?
you know, they would have been one short, and they might have been annoyed that another portion of Black Forest Gatto or smoked salmon has gone to waste.
Oh, Black Forest Gatto, you've got me going now, Dan. Have you ever helped at a wedding, though? Done anything to assist?
No, we've never really been. I mean, most of the weddings that we've been to have all been like really distant family.
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
We only have the extreme closest enough, and then like everyone else, all the others are very distant cousins who you only get to see probably about 3 or 4 times in your life.
Right. Were they posh weddings or sort of, you know, scout hut dues? Which sort were they? Or were they both?
Oh no. Well, let's say they're like middle of the road weddings that you know, nothing too posh, but still good.
Cold buffet or sit down dinners?
Well, both. I think they start with actual reception. You normally have roast chicken, and you might get soup for hors d'oeuvre or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then there's always the buffet at the end while the DJ's going on.
Oh, I like the buffet. Oh, the sandwiches and everything. I was eating dead animals at the time. I mean, the amount of food I used to eat there. They keep coming round bringing it over for the DJ. Yeah, do you want anything to eat, mate? You'd usually get a little old lady come over. I know you work, love. Do you want me to go and get you some food? And they'd come back with a little plate of food for you. Oh, it was wonderful during those weddings. I couldn't do it again. You know, I've lost...
Yeah. Have you ever found that you've ever, like, been... There's always something at a buffet table that you like, but no one else seems to.
No.
And you end up getting the whole lot. There was one party once we went...
Just a minute. We've just had a £1 super chat from John Parrish. Thank you, John.
Oh.
Thank you, John. £6 tonight. I'm in the money. Carry on, darling.
Yes,
Thank you, John.
With that money, you could afford to stand up.
Stand up, dear. You wouldn't be able to see my head then. Carry on.
Yeah, there was some party we was at where they had spare ribs.
All right.
And for some reason, nobody wanted them except me. I was about the only person who would eat them, and in the end, I think they just say, "Yeah, Dan, go on, just here,
help yourself."
There's a pot, because you get this when you're younger, mostly when you're younger, you know. He always say at the end of a party, here, Dan, here, go on, help us, here. There's a big serviette here.
To take home with you,
all this stuff, and you end up with a
that's
carrier
what I was
bag.
saying, yeah, absolutely.
Leftover food, you get a nice breakfast then that way.
Breakfast? Oh, you can't have spare ribs for breakfast, surely.
Well, no, I don't mean necessarily spare ribs. I mean anything.
That's one thing I don't like to look at, spare ribs, because I can see they are ribs. That is someone's rib cage. Oh, it's awful. Awful. Picking out those little bits of meat from the bones. Oh no, bits of dead animal does my head in. Did you like the cakes as Black Forest Gatto you had? Did you?
Well, that's about the only one that I can have, really. I'm not a fan of cakes with sticky icing on them and all that.
What lemon drizzle cake? Oh dear.
But
my sister makes nice. I tell you, who makes nice cakes. My sister, my nephew's wife, and actually her daughter, great niece Evie. My nephew's wife makes the most. What she's really sussed out to make cakes. In fact, I'm very disappointed. Last time I was up there, I don't think we had... Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. We had lemon cheesecake. Oh, God.
Yes.
And that, and we also had a boxed cake, which she didn't make. I think it was that... Might have been that Cadbury's Swiss Gatto, which is quite nice. I quite like that.
Cadbury Swiss Gatto?
Have you not had that? Oh, it's sponged with slices of chocolate cream in it all around. Oh, my God. But I'm sure that's smaller than they used to be. I think they've got smaller as well.
Well, now anyway, Chris, can we just come away from weddings a minute? Because I've got something else for you as well.
Well, if you wait just a minute, I've got to read a couple of texts that people are talking about their wedding there. Vectis was just reading his message out there. My ex is getting married when all this COVID stuff is over. I wouldn't mind giving her away, actually. I'll pay good money to do it. Well, I hope I'll be invited to that. Can I sit at the table with Shania? We can judge people. Me and Shania can sit there and judge people. Thank you, Vectis. Andy says, when I was 8 or 9, I was a page boy for my then very good neighbours. I used to have pictures, but all my childhood pictures went missing. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But I have memories which no one can lose. I remember I would have a dicky bow tie, blue and a blue frilly shirt. I looked a prince. I bet you did. Nice one, Andy. And John Parrish says, all my wedding receptions guests had to bring their own food and drinks. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I don't think I've been to a wedding where they've all bought their own sort of food. Like you're saying there. And John says George's story brought a tear to his eye. I mean, it was a lovely story, that was. I don't know if you heard that earlier, but George was he gave his mum away at her wedding when he was 13. Yeah. That's just wonderful, isn't it? All right, so that's the old wedding story there. Go on, what did you want to say? Oh, hang on, I've got an email here to read out from Vera as well that she kindly sent in. And Vera says, I've helped out at weddings. I was bridesmaid 3 times wearing colours I hated so much. Bright orange laced shoes for one when she was about 8 or 9, and lime green for another. Well, they sound perfectly all right to me. I like bright colours, Vera. She says, when you're the youngest and don't have much of a choice, I had 3 brothers and 2 sisters at the time. One of my brothers died years later, so I'm sorry to hear that, Vera. Handing out order of service, making sure that we, the bridesmaids, were around for pictures, carrying food to the venue. It was endless. But the most memorable moment in the history of our family weddings was having to carry our mother home. She had spent all day cooking and setting up tables, and in between that, drinking. We had no idea how much she had until we, my 3 brothers and I, had to put her in the car and take her home. Lucky for us, the reception was just down the road. Now, my mother was a large lady and a dead weight. I had one leg, my brother had the other, and my 2 brothers had the top half. We tried everything to get her upstairs, but she was too heavy, so we decided to put her on the sofa. All 4 of us swung her mother on the count of 3 and threw her onto the sofa with all our might. We made sure that she was safe and placed a bowl on the floor if she needed it and went back to the wedding. They just left her there. Vera knows how to go back to a party, my love. My sister's wedding was filled with famous athletes. Rita and Iris Ridley. I don't know them for the first one. And of course, a big crowd of people came to see the wedding. For my other sister, nearly all the British athletic team turned up. Oh, and I looked I looked a right picture in the group shot. I fractured my wrist 2 weeks before the wedding and my arm was in plaster. My mother told me not to get it dirty and no one was allowed to sign it until after the wedding. I had to hide my arm in most of the pictures. Poor Vera. Poor Vera. Well, I'm glad you had a good time with that, Vera. That's a great email there, isn't it? And there's my sister. Hello, sister. There's my sister. Evening, Sharon. She knows how to do a good wedding. And yes, again, my sister done stuff at my... Which one was it? Or both of them? I can't remember now. What did you do there? I remember her doing my nephew's birthday food and all that. I can't remember what she did at the weddings. But my sister's quite good at doing stuff like that. And she can source stuff pretty cheaply. For example, it's 10 years ago, so it's not coming to me at the moment. Just a minute. Yeah, it's coming now. There it is. It's my niece's wedding. It's my niece's wedding, and they one of the things that I remember at my niece's wedding was there was a table at the back with all these sweets on it. Loads and loads of different sweets for the little people to come and do. And she did... she sourced all these sweets from the internet and got them all together and put them beautifully laid out. She did... There's something else. She didn't do the food. I'm sure she didn't do the food. I think she decorated the room, which I turned up at. I think Ronnie was there as well. Yes. Yeah, she decorated the room. All these centerpieces on the tables. Oh, it was beautiful. Oh, yes, there you go. She did Tracy's decorations. I thought so. She decorated all the room. Fantastic job. Like a fraction of the price that we would have been charged, or she would have been charged by a company or something. But you wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have known that like an ordinary, non-working person within the wedding industry had done it. It was fantastic. There's some pictures. I'll have to get some pictures next time and put them up to show you her work. Of the pictures, but 10 years ago, my nephew and my niece have now been married 10 years. I can't believe it. Can you believe if I'd have still been married, Danny, I would have been married for 37 years.
37
What a
years
lucky
now.
escape!
Well,
It doesn't
I
work
know,
out for
it's
everyone, I'm
just-
afraid. There's Mick Davenport. Mick Davenport says, "Evening, I was hungover on my first wedding. It cost me £10,000 and I didn't enjoy it. £10,000 and you didn't enjoy it. Cool. You could have put the deposit down on a
Ooh.
plug-in RAV4 for that, Mick." He says, "Luckily, Mandy was too kind to me at my second wedding." So there we are. That's nice, isn't it? There we go. Here we go. There's my sister. Blue feathers and lights and goldfish on the top table. She had goldfish on the top table. You know. Unfortunately, one of the guests thought that was the meal and started chomping away at them.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Rather that, though, but goldfish than silverfish.
Oh, talking of silverfish now, I don't get those here or at the caravan. We used to suffer from those at our house in Roehampton. We had masonettes, and we were on like there were two houses, one on top of the other, but a long block. So you had upstairs and downstairs, one house, and above that, upstairs and downstairs, another house. We were upstairs, okay? We used to get silverfish in the kitchen all the time there, all the time. Never seen a single silverfish here. Do you get them?
No, but then again, they're not real fish, are they?
Well, no, they're creepy crawlies, aren't they? Creepy
Yes,
crawlies.
they're just something.
I had a
something that-
millipede, right? Last time I was at the caravan, I had a millipede sitting on top of the toilet block in the toilet, which got flushed very quickly down. There was a millipede there. How did that get there?
Yeah.
That could have crawled into my head. Maybe that's where the tinnitus is coming from. I don't know.
Yeah, millipede. Yeah, she was a nice girl, I remember.
What, millipede?
Yeah, millipede. Yes, because actually, that's what I was just going to say about is what's in a name.
Right.
Because our names, you can either be. Well, most names are either occupation, as in goldsmith.
Oh, are you talking
Arrowsmith.
surnames here?
Well, surnames, of course, yeah.
Right, yes.
Goldsmith, Arrowsmith. I haven't yet met somebody called Mr. or Mrs. Locksmith.
No. Does that surname exist?
Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there?
Where are we
You
going
have to
with
just
this?
do what I'm doing now. Get on Facebook. You just put in Locksmith.
Where were we going with this story?
Well, because a lot of people would think, well, what is a woodhouse? They'd think it's not in there. I mean, for years I've been saying to Mum, Mum, why haven't you ever done this house up where you just put, instead of bricks and mortar, you cover that up with wooden panelling round the front.
Oh, right, yeah.
Then you really could call this place a woodhouse, you see.
Okay, yes.
But she's never cottoned on to that, really. And but actually, it's not what you think. We are called Woodhouse, you see, because we are named after the famous country retreat known as Wentworth Woodhouse.
Right.
And therefore, in the pecking order, I have actually worked out that makes me Count Daniel of Woodhouse.
Right.
The Count of Woodhouse. Mum would be the Countess.
Yes.
For now,
I'm not
until
quite
the
sure
future
where
Mrs.
we're
Woodhouse
going with this
comes along.
story, to be honest, Dan.
Eh?
I'm not quite sure where we're going with this story or why you've brought it up.
Well, because I just thought you might like to know how names I got become by Woodhouse. Since there was also my non brother came on as well, Christopher Woodhouse, your friend DJ Chris.
Yes, non-brother. Non-brother.
I thought
I never
it was,
realised that. Of course, you've got the same surname, haven't you?
Yes.
I never realised that. Have we got enough? Have we got? Oh my God, we've just got another 2 tips tonight. Another 2 tips. Sean Pye has found it necessary to send 2 tips tonight.
Oh, he's here as well.
Wow. Thank you very much, Sean. You're very kind. I didn't know you were there. Good evening, Sean. Sean, I don't know if you don't know, but I'm not actually in the chat box. So you need to send us a message or a little email, all right, if you want to join into the show, and I'll read it out like that. Thank you very much for your tips tonight. It's very kind of you. Had a few tips tonight. We've only got 12 likes, unfortunately, for DJ Chris's tattoos. I've got some tattoos. DJ Chris, who's one of our regular correspondents, has sent in pictures of the tattoos, as done either yesterday or the day before, on his arm. Now, I've got them to show you, but it's in exchange for, what did we say, 23 likes. At the moment, we've got 13, so we need another 10. And I really would like to show them to you, but 23 likes is the thing, and we don't get 23 likes, I can't show them to you. And Chris, please don't let Chris cry, darlings. We don't want him crying on here, do we? Have you got any tattoos, Dan?
Do you really think I would?
Well, I think that might be the sort of
Me?
thing that you have, no? No,
No,
for you?
I could have had that one with the baby on it. You know, that one with the baby and there's going through someone's heart or something. And there was something like that. That's what I saw once before.
A baby going through someone's heart?
Yeah, they put a heart. I put a heart on there, and then they put this baby across it, like that. It's sort of got
with an arrow. That's Cupid, dear. You mean Cupid? Cupid.
Maybe it's that, or I'm thinking of the opening titles on the South Bank show.
Right. I'm just trying to think of the music to the South Bank show. Anyway, thanks for calling in tonight, Dan. Nice to talk to you as always.
Okay, Chris.
Cheerio.
Have a nice time. See you next week then. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Dan Woodhouse calling in on the show this evening. You can call in if you want to, 0208 144 3477. We now have 18 likes, 19, 20, 200. Only 5 more required. Give me 5 more likes and I can show you the picture of DJ Chris's brand new tattoos. We have 18 at the moment. We actually want 23 altogether. I think that's a very good exchange. All right, my darlings. So that's the wedding story that we got here. What else have we got here? A lot of money to lose. A hell of a lot of money to lose. Martin Lewis has been sitting in on GB News this week. And I thought he did quite a good job. It turns out that he's not going to do it again, or at least isn't coming back as the permanent host. I don't think they've got the permanent host yet. Call to do it. We've got someone. I'm afraid I don't take anonymous phone calls. All right, I don't take anonymous phone calls. You've got to send your number if you want to call in. All right, my darlings, because what tends to happen, we take anonymous phone calls. People just put the phone straight down. So if you do call in, you need to be sending your number, not like a withheld number. I don't take those at all anymore. It's a shame, really, when you think about it. So many people have mucked around by banging the phone down or shouting something over time, and that's why we have to do that. Spoils it for everyone else. But yeah, if you're going to call in, you need to be sending your number. If you've got like a blocked number, it doesn't come through, all right? Yes, Martin Lewis was doing his GMB little stand-in the other day. I thought he was quite good. He wasn't everyone's cup of tea by listening to people. But nevertheless, he had someone on yesterday morning, a retired teacher, Teresa. And I think we've mentioned on the show before about scams on adverts, Facebook adverts, Google adverts, that sort of thing. We've mentioned that before. Anyway, this lady, Teresa, she's a retired teacher. And she replied to a Bitcoin advert. This advert on Facebook. I think it was on Facebook. It was either on Facebook or Google, one of the two. It used Bear Grylls' face as part of the advert. Now, we've seen this so many times now before, and sometimes I look at adverts for stuff that I see, whether it's on Google, Facebook, be a famous face there, and I think, I don't think you'd give permission for your face to be used for that, you know. But nevertheless, she saw it, and she was telling the story. Teresa appeared on Good Morning Britain as she spoke about investing in Bitcoin after seeing an advert online which left her tens of thousands of pounds in debt. It was fake. Now, I know nothing about Bitcoin. I don't really get it. I understand that it doesn't actually exist. Oh, Rachel's calling in. Just a moment. Let's take Rachel's call. Good evening to the delightful, very nice Rachel Wheatland this evening. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Chris.
Wonderful to hear your beautiful little voice, my darling.
That was me on the withheld number.
Oh, was it? I'm sorry, darling. Yeah, the trouble is, if I take those numbers, what tends to happen is that people just suddenly slam the phone down, and then you try it again, and they do it again, and it all starts getting a bit, messy and unprofessional.
It was my fault. I put the wrong number in front of your number. So. I helped out at a wedding reception for a few hours.
Okay, yeah. Whose wedding was this?
It was a couple called Helen and Jim. I don't know them personally, but my dad does.
Oh, right,
my dad runs a ferret rescue near New York in Coningsby.
Okay, yeah, I know New York, yes, yeah. It's nice there.
Yeah.
Bit of a busy road, really, isn't it?
It is.
Is it
that long straight road?
I thought it was that one. It's that really long straight road. Blimey, they tear down that, don't they?
And then when you come, have you seen that little chapel when you get into New York?
Yes, I know. Yeah.
If you go left down there, my dad's down that end.
Okay. The thing is with that road, it's really long, and you can build up a speed there and stay at that speed for a long time. Is it 10 miles, something like that?
It's quite a fair distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes all the way from Hubbard's Bridge all the way into Coningsby, doesn't it? Really, that one.
Yeah, I quite like Coningsby. Quite like it.
Yeah, it's a nice place.
They got a lovely Coupland's bakery there, and actually that's where I get my hair cut. Across the road from the bakery and down a little bit further towards Horncastle.
Yeah, Horncastle.
Yeah, Horncastle. Yeah. Down towards just a tiny little bit along, like another 10 foot maybe, on the other side of the road is a kebab shop and a hairdresser's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I think I know what you mean, yeah.
That's where I've been getting, well, not in the last year, but that's where I used to get my hair cut. His name's H. Lovely man. Yeah, that's why I used to get my hair cut there.
Oh, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, thank you very much. No, I'm doing it myself at the moment. I did it again yesterday. Did it again.
I thought you were going to go to the hairdressers next time.
I'd like to, yeah. I think what's happened is that I've got used to not spending money on my haircuts now and doing it myself.
Well, it's good, saving money.
Yeah. So tell us about this wedding. So where was the wedding? Did you say it was in New York?
The wedding was actually at Woodall Spa Manor, near the Woodall Spa Manor near the golf course.
Yeah, Woodall Spa Manor. I've got the golf course in my head. I'm not quite sure where the manor is. Is it behind the golf course?
It's not. It's near. It's in the area where Petwood Hotel is.
Oh, I've stayed there. I stayed there once.
Mm.
Proper old school hotel that is, isn't it? And I missed the breakfast. I got up too late, and it was a whole room full of food. So disappointed. Anyway, so it was at the Woodall Spa Manor. Yes. Yeah. So
my dad runs the Ferret Rescue.
Eh?
My dad runs the Ferret Rescue. So at the wedding reception, he set up a ferret race.
A ferret race at a wedding reception?
A ferret race using pipes and water as obstacles. So they'll run through these pipes, come to the water, and then they'd have to try and get through.
Right.
If they like the water or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guests would pay 50 pence to a pound.
Right.
And the winner would double their money. So they'd get £1 back if they paid 50 pence and £2 back if they paid £1. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's all a bit of fun.
Oh, wow.
Race at the reception.
I've never seen anything like that done at someone's wedding. In fact, I've never seen anything other than a band and a disco, to be honest.
I've actually sent you a little video through Messenger of the ferret race.
Okay. I'll have a look at that then when we've finished. How amazing. A ferret race at a wedding. I bet that went down really well, didn't it?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, the guests and the bride and groom loved it.
Was that like your gift to them or something like that? Or were you employed to do that?
they were friends of my dad's.
Right. Okay.
So he went and did the fake race there for them.
Oh, I can't wait to see the video. To be honest.
And talking about the silverfish, we've got some in our bathroom upstairs.
Oh, you get them as well, do you? I think maybe once you've got them, they're difficult to get hold of. I don't know how they get there in the first place, you know. But I've never. Yeah, I didn't have them. I didn't have them flat in Wandsworth, and I've never had them here, and I've not got them at the caravan. Funny, isn't it, really?
Well, the kids have named. They've called them. But they're using them as pets, and they call them names.
What, the silverfish? Are they tiny things, aren't they?
The one that lives underneath the bath is called Stuart.
Stuart the silverfish.
They use them as little pets.
Oh, we were usually picking them up and flushing them down the toilet.
Yeah. But they are actually pests. So bird.
Gosh.
If you get quite a few of them, they can chew through your pipes and whatnot.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. What, silverfish?
Yeah, apparently. So bird.
I thought that was just squirrels and rats. Silverfish, because they're tiny things, aren't they? Really, they chew through your pipes.
You've got the teeth to flipping chew through the pipe.
Well, I didn't know that. Blimey, and you wouldn't have thought there'd be a set of teeth in those little bodies, would you?
But I suppose if you've got loads of them hiding underneath there, they'll soon get through it.
You've just had your anniversary. What was it, 17 years?
19.
19 years. Tell me, your wedding, was that like how was that?
I won't go into that. It was a grab a couple of witnesses off the street.
Was it? Okay. There's nothing wrong with that, yeah.
Reception at Long Sutton.
Yeah.
With just a couple of witnesses. Because if we got our family there and Leo's family together, well, I think there would have been more like a fight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that just happens sometimes.
That one.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, as long as you're happy with the wedding, that's all that matters, my darling.
Uh-huh.
Lovely, Rachel.
Leo's Daddy's 59th birthday as well, so he'll be the big 16 next year.
Oh, he's a little bit ahead of me then. I can't believe it. You know, a year and a half, I'm going to be 60 as well. I bet he can't believe he's 60 next year, can he?
I just call him an old man now.
Oh, poor old soul, darling. Get him one of those walking frames for his birthday. Good old Rachel. We love you, darling. Thanks ever so much, Rachel, for sharing your experience with us, my love.
Oh, you're welcome, Chris.
And do say hello to your silverfish. Was it Stuart the silverfish?
Stuart the silverfish.
Send him my best regards, my dear. Ta-ra, darling.
Have a look at that little video I sent you.
I will, darling. As soon as the show's finished, I'm going to look at that. I'll see if I can grab it to put up there. I don't know if I can download a video from the Facebook. I can do it from YouTube, but I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to do it from Facebook or not. But I'll give it a go, my love, all right?
Okay, Chris, you take care.
Tatty, bye.
Bye, look after yourself. Bye.
Lovely to hear Rachel this evening. How blooming wonderful to hear Rachel tonight. Lovely. Thank you, Rachel. Going back to this story, let's just check little messages. Paul says, I saw a silverfish in my bathroom recently. Also, I live in a masonette just like you, described on top. Oh, that's funny, isn't it? Oh, there you are. Sorry, I've missed out a couple of your messages there. He's now in Rotherhithe or Canada Water. I used to do quiz night there in Rotherhithe. Highly recommended pub for you to try, Paul. The Mayflower, which is right on the river. It's a lovely pub. I only left there because they put a new sound system in and I just couldn't get on with it. It created this echo because it was like one of those wireless sound systems, you know, and I would speak, but my voice wouldn't come out of the speakers until like half a second later, and people were complaining left, right and centre and I just couldn't cope, so I left there. But there we are. It's round the corner from you. Oh, have you been in there yet? The Mayflower? If you have a meal in there, you won't be hungry. It's a little bit pricey in there. The owner is called Paul, and he is the most lovely character. Paul's the owner, and there's a girl who runs it. I don't know if she's still with her. Marianne, I think her name is, Marianne. It's very small in there. Very, very small. It's a little bit tight in there. I used to do a quiz night in there some years ago now. It was great. Was great. Let's just go back to this story now, gang. Which one was it? I forgot where I got to now. Hang on a minute. Where's the story I got to? Where was it now? Let's just check for the tattoos. We've got 22 likes now. We only need one more like. One more. And I'll show you DJ Chris's tattoos. All right. Now, which was the story we got to? That's it. It was Martin Lewis, wasn't it? There it is, Martin Lewis. So this woman had replied to a Bitcoin advert on, it was either Facebook or Google. She lost thousands, tens of thousands actually. Now, it says here, the money expert, Martin Lewis, has frequently warned about the scams and in 2018 issued a High Court proceedings against Facebook for defamation after 1,000 scam ads abusing his name or image appeared on their website in a single year. So Facebook were basically taking adverts from people for which people would have paid. If I want to put an advert on Facebook, I pay them, they take the advert and they put it on there. Well, they're clearly not checking on them. It's disgusting how they're getting away with that. This poor lady spotted the advert online with Bear's face and decided to invest. Initially, she was lured in with £250 and was given a fake advisor. So that's not all of it. So she sent them £250, then they set her up with a fake advisor who lied about how well her investments were doing. Gradually, she invested thousands in the scam. You just imagine it, someone at the end of the phone. You're ringing in, Oh, hello, Mrs. What's her name, Teresa? Hello, Teresa. Yeah, it's so-and-so from your investment bank here. Yeah, I have to tell you, your investments are really doing well. Your £250 is now worth £460 in just a week. Yeah, it's amazing, really, isn't it? Anyway, we're doing the best for you. Thank you very much. She put the phone down. She's probably got a phone call like that on a regular occasion. How do you know? I mean, even like my pension fund, I can log on to that and I see these figures either going up or down. They've gone up at the moment. But I don't really know, do I? How do I know? It says, like Barclays or whatever at the top. How do you know who's at the end of that computer? You don't know. Not really, do you? It's frightening. Gradually, she invested thousands in the scam, and when she wanted to take money out, she was charged with an additional fee and had to borrow from a friend in order to do so. She says they were just milking you for the money and you couldn't withdraw. Host Susanna Reid said, "The thing is, not only do you lose a huge amount of money, how much do you think she lost altogether? £125,000. That's what this poor woman lost. £125,000. But it also damaged the bond you have with friends and family, which must have had a massive impact on your support system and your mental health." Teresa replied, "Yes, the friend lent me the money. I think it affected our relationship after all. It's very hard with my daughters. It was hard, but they tried to advise me," her daughters. So, of course, you borrow money from someone to get your money back, then that money disappears already as well. You then can't pay your friend back. I mean, you know how I feel about money and friends, don't you? I've told you time and time before, I'd never ever lend money to friends. Never. Doesn't matter how close they are. Do not lend money to friends if you value that friendship. If you say no, they might get a bit arsey about it, but they'll accept that. They will accept that. If you lend it and it doesn't come back, end of friendship, my friend. She says, "I'm sitting here in a cold fury, this woman. If I'm honest," this is Susanna. "If I'm honest, as I listen to this," Martin said this. "I'm sitting here in a cold fury. If I'm honest, as I listen to this," Martin said and addressed Teresa, "can I just say to you, You said it was astonishing. It's not for me. I had someone lose £100,000 this weekend. I had someone lose £200,000. I cannot tell you how many people there are in your position. But you were so brave because people won't talk about it because it damages their financial health and their mental health. You see, you don't want to look an idiot, do you? I certainly wouldn't. You don't want people to know that you've sent money, in this case tens of thousands of pounds, to someone and you've lost it all. You don't want to look stupid. Well, she isn't stupid. She just doesn't understand how it works. And this is the thing with so many people, especially those older people, you know, over 60s especially. And I know well, you know, when I get to 60, it'd be like over 65s, you know. It's that I and people like Rachel, Leo, Rachel's husband, you know, we're just in at that age where computers were there, if you see what I mean, where they started. So we kind of, I think we can see these scams. I smell them a mile off. Oh, God, the amount of Facebook messages I get. Oh, hi, I'd like to talk to you. You know. Sussed it straight away. As soon I can smell a scam a mile off. A mile off. And it's terrible. You see, where I think, and that's about that story, Teresa's managed to get half her money back after her bank helped. So the bank gave her a bit of money back, but she's still trying to get the rest. Oh, so that's still, what, 62 and a half grand she's still lost. You see, I think these bloody online companies should be responsible as well. If you reply to an advert from Facebook or Google, and they have been paid by whoever it is who's put the ad out, they've been paid. They wouldn't have put that ad on for free. They have accepted money from someone and put the ad on there. Why are they not responsible then if that turns out to be fake? That's very, very unfair, isn't it? They should be responsible. Facebook, Google, whoever is the online company, they should be responsible for that woman losing that money because they obviously didn't check them out. All they've done is quickly taken the money from the advertiser and put the advert up. But I bet they didn't charge the advertiser as much as that poor lady had lost. That is so wrong, isn't it? You know, if I sat here and I said to you, like, I've got this fantastic scheme here, right? I've just bought a load of properties, and I want you in on this. I want you. Just send me £10,000, okay? And you'll get some of the rent as it comes in, and you all send me this money, and I disappear. You should have comeback. You should have comeback on that from perhaps YouTube. So wrong. And you see these scams, anything to do with money or anything like that, I go to a name I know. Barclays Bank, HSBC, Nationwide, Insurance, Royal London, someone like that. There's no way I'd go to a normal, an unknown name that you see on there. Maybe one or two of you have lost money like this, and if you have, I'm really sorry. Really sorry. It's not fair. It's not fair. And these online companies who take the adverts should be made responsible for all this going on. I think that's what I think about that. What do you think? Good evening to Paul in Cornwall this evening. Paul and Joe are in the house today. Hello to you two. I hope you're well on this Wednesday night. Anyway, that's the Martin Lewis, and he was doing his head on the front. I was watching it. He was doing his head in. It was. He's very good with all this stuff there. We now have 23 likes. I'm pleased to say we've now had 23 likes. So I'm now going to show you DJ Chris's new tattoos. Are you ready for this? How excited are you? Very. Here we go. Thank you very much for the likes. 24 likes now. Here come DJ Chris's tattoos. Look at those. Aren't they beautiful? Look how perfect that... Why can't I write like that? And obviously, I assume they're Chinese. Are they Chinese or Japanese? Or Thai? Are they... I don't know. Is Thai a language all on its own, or is that connected to one of the others? I don't know. But there we are. It's sent in 3 pictures. 2 of them are very similar. Here's another one here. My body is my journal and my tattoos are my story. I love the colours of those, don't you? Aren't they fantastic colours? Look at them. Wow. And also like the way that the wording is slightly... It changes colour subtly as it goes along his arm. I think it's amazing. And one more here. It's the same as the first one there. Isn't that great? I just love those splashes of colours. So thanks very much for your likes for those pictures there. Hope you enjoyed seeing them. Well worth showing you those, I thought. You've got any pictures you want to send in? You know you can always do that, and I'll hold them over for the next show. Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk is my email address. George emails and he said, I had a phone call from the Nationwide. It wasn't. It was a scam. Yes, the banks are not going to call you. If you really think that is the bank on the end of the phone, put the phone down. And Martin Lewis said this the other morning, right? Put the phone down and then don't tell them anything. Tell them you'll ring them back. And then put the phone down. Then pick up the phone. Don't ring the bank. Ring a friend or your mum or your dad, someone. Ring a friend. And if that friend answers, then you know the line is now cleared. Then put the phone down and ring your bank and look the number up. Look on the back of your little bank card. There's the number. Ring that number, not any number. Or, like my aunt does, my aunt's not good. She would not be good with something like this. I told my aunt, never ever tell anyone anything bank-wise over the phone. She will actually get in her car and go down to the branch. Hello, I've had this phone call. Is this you? No. Go down into, which is, to be honest, is getting harder and harder now, isn't it? Going down to your bank's branch. Less and less banks opening, you know. She's just lost her one in town. She lives in Tring, Auntie Brenda. She now has to go down to Berkhamsted, which is a little bit more of a journey, but better that than losing tens of thousands of pounds like that poor person. All right, gosh, it's 10 to 10 already, is it? Blimey, it's gone very quick tonight. Would you be happy to have your child have their very own Echo Dot? I was watching a YouTube video, which I turned off on the end because the bloke was annoying. He just went on and on. I can't stand people like that, can you? It was going on and on. But he was talking about Echo Dots, not the story I'm about to tell you. But basically, you have basically a spy in your house, don't you? But you accept that. You know that. I know plenty of people, they certainly won't have an Echo Dot in the bedroom. Some people simply won't have an Echo Dot. They won't have one. End of. Would you be happy for your child to have an Echo Dot in your house? And I'll tell you why. Amazon have now bought out a child's Echo Dot. And there's a picture of it here. I mean, it looks great, doesn't it? I think that looks absolutely great. But would you have your child with something like that in the bedroom? Or does that bother you? Anyway, I thought I'd just ask you that question tonight. I don't think I'd want a child of mine with a listening device, or even worse than that, something with a camera on in their bedroom. That being said, of course, you can get cameras like babysitting cameras, can't you? You see, the thing is, if they're wireless, it's all very well saying they're all secure and all this and that. If you've got a camera in your child's bedroom and there's a wire coming from that down to a little screen in your living room, that's safe. No one can log into that. If it's wireless or in any way connected to a router, people, not me, probably not you, clever people can log into this stuff and watch you or your children. And okay, that Echo Dot there, that hasn't got a camera on it, but they can certainly listen. People could listen. Certainly Amazon have this stuff on all the time. Anything it records and sends it to their servers, okay, so they say, yes, but it's safe. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know that's safe? How do you know no one ever listens? There's one here now. Look, there's one there. That can hear everything I'm saying. And they say the wake-up word, you know the wake-up word for it. But how do you know there's no one listening to me now on that microphone just because you haven't said the word? I don't believe it. I think, well, and you accept that, don't you? When you have that thing into your house, you accept that that might be listening to you at all times. And believe me, that microphone is very, very good. They are really good. They can pick up from miles, not miles away, but you know what I mean. It's a bit scary, isn't it, all this stuff? If ever they wanted to survey the population, well, it started with traffic cameras, didn't it? But we've actually bought our very own devices so that someone else can spy on us, and it's sitting in our house. We've installed equipment in our houses, speakers and cameras, so that other people can spy on us. It's madness. It's absolute madness when you think about it. Will I be chucking mine away? Certainly not. It's convenience, isn't it? It's convenience. I can ask it. You know, I can do your own local. Well, all I got to say is, Amazon, tell me the weather. I could do it. Well, we did it the other night, didn't we? If I said Amazon, but the word, tell me the weather, you will get your own local weather forecast, and I'll just turn the microphone off for 10 seconds, and I'll get my local weather forecast on that. We ask it the time, not that one because it's got a clock on it, perhaps we're in bed like that, and it'll say, Amazon, tell me the time. And she tells us the time or plays us some music. She can turn on my kettle here, she can turn on my kettle at the caravan. She can turn on my air stuff and my heating at the caravan and here. We just talk to it. I can ask her the temperature in the caravan. If I think it's going to be freezing cold and perhaps I want to turn the heating on for a while, I can do that. I'll ask her, Alexa, what's the temperature at caravan living room aircon?
The caravan living room aircon temperature is 23.5 degrees.
See, why wouldn't I want that? And the on the other side of things is that thing is listening to me all the time. But we accept it, don't we? We've put in our very own bugging devices. It's crazy. Crazy, really, isn't it, when you think about it? Anyway, so that's the Alexa thing. Would you want one in your child's bedroom? Rachel says all her three children have an Echo Dot. We have one in the bedroom, living room, and one in the kitchen. Yeah. Well, I have one in the bedroom. I have one in here at the moment. I have one in the living room and one in the kitchen. The one in the living room's got a TV screen on it, so I can call people on it and talk to my nephew. And the caravan, there's one in the living room and one in the bedroom there. Everywhere. I can listen in to my caravan. You know that? It's called drop-in. Now, we won't be able to hear anything. I'll tell you what. I've got a chiming clock in my caravan. Right? It's 5 to 10. Okay, that will chime at 10 o'clock. Now, sometimes the clock's not all that, and it mischimes. Sometimes you don't get all 10. Sometimes you get more than 10. I don't know why that is. I don't seem to be the only person who's got that problem. I came across someone the other day who's got a chiming clock, and it went mad on the hour, and then started chiming again at like 10 past. So I think that might be a thing with battery-operated chiming clocks. I'll go in now to my caravan, right? And at 10 o'clock, you'll hear the caravan bell chiming, all right? Alexa, drop in at caravan living room.
Okay, dropping in.
Right. Okay? So I'm now listening. Okay. Unfortunately, it will pick... there you go, I turned it down. That's better. I'm now listening to whatever's going on in my caravan living room. I can do the same with my bedroom there, the one downstairs, the one in my bedroom. You drop in. Now, you do have to give it permission to do that. You do have to tell it that. I'll just turn that down for a little while. We'll wait for 10 o'clock, okay, and then I'll turn it back up again. You do, and you can let other people do it. So I could give you, if you've got one of those, right, I could give you permission to drop into my Alexa. And you drop in on it, and literally, you wouldn't ring me. You'd just say, drop in on Chris's bedroom speaker, whatever it is. And then my speaker, then you could, it would bleep once. It would go beep like that, but that's all it would do. And once it's beeped, you're listening to me. I haven't had to answer a call or anything. And in a way, it's clever, because you can have a little listen or drop in or turn on the camera. You can turn on the camera. You've got a camera there and drop in on your premises, like a security type thing. But on the other hand, you know, perhaps other people, clever people that I mentioned, can also do this. And drop into your speaker and listen to what's going on. Paul Brown says our phones can all do the same things as those Echo Dots. Google Assistant can too. And we carry those everywhere with us. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, this has got the Amazon app on it. I can drop into stuff from my phone wherever I am in the world. So clever. And again, with your phone, like Paul says there. Is this listening to me? How would I know? How would I know? It's not like there's a physical switch. That's the difference between analog and digital. You know, with a physical switch. If I push this button like this, right? Let it go again and you can hear me. It's a physical switch, on, off. With these, you just move a thing across the screen. How do you know it's actually turned it off? How do you know? Ah, yeah, because they told us. Oh, right. What, no one tells lies? It's probably someone at Apple listening to me now. Because this is a very interesting show. How are we doing on time? We'll turn it up a bit. You might get a few funny noises coming from that because I've got it. I'll put it on number 10. Trouble is, my voice will now be coming out the other end as well. You can talk to people, you know. I could drop in. Actually, I'm on Adam's. Adam gave me permission to go on to his Echo Dot, and I have rung in before. I said, all right, Adam. And the first thing they know that you've connected is if they've missed the little beep, it's very quiet beep. If they've missed that, first thing they know that you're in touch is the fact that you're talking to them. It's a bit scary, isn't it, really? George has got an app on his phone which scams calls. When scam call calls, it automatically blocks them. Good. Shania says, my Alexa does not know the location. Really? It's scary. Rachel said, you could pick up ghost sounds. Oh, yes. Ghost sounds. Ghosts. Or, if you've got a spider, You could hear it running across the floor, couldn't you? Spiders. I could hear them. Running across the living room floor. That's scary as well, isn't it, really? Thank you, Rachel. Anyway, that's the old Echo Dots there. I think they look really nice, those Echo Dots. Let's have a little look. Oh, there we go. Listen. See if it chimes today. Bit of an odd noise there, weren't there? Is there anyone in my caravan? Alexa, stop. So I've hung up now. How clever is that? All right, well, we'll just do one more text here from Rachel. Say, isn't technology clever? Yeah. I mean, it really is, isn't it? It's very clever that something like that you can do like that, really. Oh, well. Okay, gang, we're going to disappear here. Thanks ever so much. We haven't got through all that menu as we don't normally do anyway, do we? But thanks so much for watching and listening. Thank you very much to those of you that sent a tip today. It's very generous of you. Thanks ever so much for that. I really appreciate that. I'm on the radio tomorrow morning there on your smart speaker, which we've just been talking about. You see, that's why you need an Amazon Echo or a Google, or even on your phone, because you know you can listen to Reach on Air on your phone. All you've got to do is say, hey, S-I-R-I, hey, S-I-R-I, play Reach on Air, and she just plays it. Very clever. People are listening in their cars and everything now. But I'll be on there tomorrow morning at just after 9 o'clock, just after the 9 o'clock news. All right, that's where I'll be. Alan Ross isn't on there tonight because, of course, it's Thursday, and they have another bloke do Thursday through till Friday. So he'll be back with you on, when is it now? On Friday night, okay? If you're around in the North London area tomorrow, I shall be doing karaoke. That'll be at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Regular karaoke, Central Station, Wharfdale Road in King's Cross. That's tomorrow night. I've just thought, Paul, presumably you're still with us there, Paul. I could possibly come down to the one night to the Mayflower if you want, because it's been so long since I've been in there. Maybe have some chips and something. I know we said an afternoon tea, but does that suit you? That might be quite nice. I could do that. Well, might be able to even do that next week. Have we got a night free next week? That'd be lovely to see you, darling. All right. Anyway, time to go, gang. Thanks very, very much for joining us on the show. Hope you've had a good time. I've had a nice little bit of a chat with you. And thank you very much to Dan and Rachel and George for your lovely phone calls as well tonight. Much appreciated. Have a nice time, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, if not on our next chat show, which is on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Bye-bye now.